In the meeting. Good evening, one and all from different part of zone. It's good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Priyanka Kolvekar this side. Definitely the host for the event and being the part of relationship team. Building beautiful relationship is what I love to do, and I'm happy and glad to see wonderful people from across. I would really be happy to see the smiling faces and bring a change in the life for all who are looking for in different part of the world, whether you want to be vegan or transition vegan or already vegan. Just a huge round of applause for you guys because you've been doing great and taking one step ahead to bring a change. So congratulations to one and all. So I have a beautiful speaker who I was stunned when I spoke to her for the first time because she blew my mind, and I was like, how is it even possible? So then it was just a secret that she has put the consistent effort, and she has taken the veganism to the whole level in terms of health and fitness and wellness in being loving animals. That shows that she's so compassionate and loving. That makes us a different human, as you guys are all special as well. I can definitely see that. So I would love to introduce you to amazing and beautiful, gorgeous Linda Middlesworth. Lovely name, just like her. And she's going to give you an amazing, event and giving a speech about how you can make your life beautiful in a small step. And what is that it is going to, just program in our subconscious mind to stopping us to lead a better life. So I would introduce Linda, and she's been vegan for such a long time, 36 years. She's an animal lover, and she has changed, transformed life, healed people through veganism. And welcome, Linda. I love you all, and here is it, all over you. Just go ahead. All the best.
Linda, you have to unmute yourself.
Hi, everybody. I was muted and I was talking to you. Sorry. Thank you, Priyanka. That was a beautiful introduction to me. I don't think I've ever had one quite like that. Thank you. You make my heart sing. So I am so happy you're all here. Unfortunately, I put the wrong link on my meetup. So there's going to be a few people missing, but I don't know what was wrong with it, but something was definitely wrong with it. So I'm so happy you are here though. And I was just, let's have a good time this morning. Let's have a frank discussion about what's going on in the world and what we can do about it together, because um we all are a part of this world now. I mean, we weren't born, when I was born, I was never born vegan. Were you? I don't know one person. Maybe you do. If you do, let me know. I don't know one person who was born as a vegan. And I'm hoping that more people will be born vegan now that we have our growing vegan community. So the vegan community is sponsoring me today. So I give a big thanks to them for doing this, because without them, I couldn't reach you. So it makes me very happy to have you here. I'll briefly just run down my life a little bit so you know where I'm coming from. I really got into this originally for my health because I was on death's door. I had heart disease, cancer, pre-diabetes, high blood pressure, and I was 55 pounds overweight. And I was miserable, and I just happened to move next door to my neighbor, my new neighbor, and she said, "Oh," I was telling her about my health, and she said, "Oh, you can get rid of all that." I said, "What?" She said, I said, "I'm dying, Frances." And she said, "No, you don't have to die. Just find out about Dr. John McDougall." Well, I never even met the man. I just started reading his then book. And I read it 3 times, and I found out by reading that book that in his book, the people, his patients, they went from being very sick like me and getting well. And I thought, okay, this is for me. There was one lady, young lady in there, maybe 25 or so. She had breast cancer and she was overweight a lot. And they were radiating her and chemo. And they finally said, you know, your body isn't removing it. I don't know why. But we have to take a break and then we'll come back in the fall and do some more radiation and chemotherapy. Well, in that break, she started searching on the internet. Sometimes the internet comes in handy. And she found Dr. John McDougall. Well, she started following him. Well, she went from size 18 to size 4. I don't know who goes to 4, but anyway, she did. And she lost her cancer and it never came back. And that was many years ago. That was, 36 years ago. So I am impressed. And I thought, okay, unfortunately, I had done one radiation before I knew, and that killed part of my thyroid. But had I known 1 week earlier, I would have avoided that too, because I would have said, no, 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 I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm going to do Dr. John McDougall. And I did. Well, my cancer never came back. I lost my cancer, my heart disease, my diabetes, the high blood pressure, and the whole thing. But then shortly after, a week after that, my same neighbor said, you know what happens to dairy cows, don't you? And I said, yeah, I really miss that cheese. Oh my goodness. I couldn't walk by the refrigerator without taking out a piece of cheese. And I'll tell you why that happened, because it's like crack cocaine. It has an opiate-like effect. And so it's like people who aren't alcoholic, they have a hard time giving up alcohol, and they have one piece and they want it, one drink and they want it again. Well, I was eating cheese and ice cream every day, yogurt, and man, that kept me addicted, completely addicted. And so, as you know, just like Alcoholics Anonymous, if you want to get rid of an addiction, you really have to stop eating it, right? You can't eat just one bite or drinking some milk, a little bit of milk, because that keeps you addicted to it. It's like crack cocaine. It's really very opiate-like. It has an opiate in it, okay? And why does it have that opiate? It's in the casein, which is in the milk. 90%, 97% of dairy is casein. And that casein is addictive, like crack cocaine. And that casein, does anybody here know why that's so addictive, and not why it's so addictive, but what that means as far as the baby cows? Anybody know? Raise your hand, please. If you don't, I'll tell you. But does anybody know about why that casein is in there to be opiate? Okay, I'm going to tell you.
So the cows will nurse.
Yeah, there you go. Who's saying that? That's
Beth from New Hampshire.
Oh, hi.
Sorry, I'm not on camera. Sorry.
Okay, well, hi, Beth. I was looking for you. So, yes, that's absolutely right. That casein is in the dairy milk to make the baby cow not wander away from mama and keep drinking. And so when we eat the casein in the milk or the cheese or the yogurt or whatever it is, we stay addicted like a baby cow. You see, baby cows are the ones that deserve that milk. We should not be taking it away from the mother. And no, they make as much as they need for the baby. They don't need to make extra for people. And as if many of you do know already, and some might not hear, because you don't have to be vegan to be in this podcast or even be with our community, the vegan community. You can be eating everything under the sun. We don't care. We just want to talk to you, and we want to have discussion about everything. So anyway, that's why we need to be together, so people can start to look outside themselves, because as a community, we aren't just one individual eating our little way and going about our business. Whatever we eat matters to the world and to the animals, right? And so I learned 36 years ago, 1 week after I became plant-based, that dairy cows were greatly harmed and that they took the baby away from the mother at birth. Now, if they did that to a human baby, people would arrest them or kill them or something because that's not right. You don't take mothers away from their babies. And that's what we do. We immediately remove the mother from the cow and they cry for each other. And it's the saddest thing I've seen it. It's the saddest thing I've ever seen in my life. And so that's why I like to bring that up, because if you're eating dairy right now, don't worry. I did too. I did for 44 years. Now I'm 80 and I feel terrific too, by the way. Because of that, I gave it up. I had cancer because of the dairy. That's the number one cause of cancer is the dairy. All animal protein causes cancer and heart disease and diabetes and high blood pressure, but I got it mostly from the dairy. That's what I ate most of. Yeah. So I just wanted to make sure y'all know that. But don't worry if you're not there yet. We don't care. Today is about supporting each other and opening up your world a little bit, maybe. Maybe you have all kinds of concerns about your life. Maybe somebody's ill in your family, or maybe you don't have a job right now. I mean, there's all kinds of pressures on people financially, spiritually, and they don't have time to think about anything but just surviving every day. There's a lot of us like that, and it's not easy to survive. So you don't want to think about anything else. You don't have a purpose in life, because every day you get up and think, okay, how am I going to eat today? Or how am I going to pay my bills? Or how am I going to do my exercise when I don't even have money to do it, or no time to do it. So I understand that. I've been in places like that before, and it's not fun and it's not right, but it happens. And so if you can just open up a little bit, maybe today, by what you learn, that will help you start maybe just moving a little bit in the right direction. Does anybody have a story you can tell me about how and why you went plant-based or vegan, or how you're still struggling with it? It's okay. It's okay if you're struggling with it. I don't care. We don't care. This is a supportive group. Okay, this is our vegan community, the vegan community. So anybody want to raise your hand and tell me how you transitioned, or why you haven't been able to transition? Please let me know. Okay, anybody brave to raise your hand?
Yeah,
I
hi
can't.
Linda. I think
Hi.
we will continue where we were talking earlier about how I transition about
Okay. Okay,
from
thank you.
eating. Yeah. So in my journey, that time, I think I was eating a lot of processed food, 5 meals a day in intervals, but everything would have dairy or meat all the time because I worked in a fast food industry for a very long time. So always surrounded by food, right? And then someday I just made the connection. It was very simple for me. Uh, I read an article. It says there's so much of violence, there is so much of pain, suffering that we are causing because of our choices, and we have the choice to make to reduce that suffering, right? And that's what connected me. That's what got me. And it just took me 2 days to stop eating meat. And then gradually it's been 10 years. And then I know how I change my body, how my thoughts change with the time. And that was the most uh, powerful thing. That is the simple thing that we do can help us grow in a person that you would, you know, that makes life better for others. And I think it's a very purposeful way of living life. So it's a lifestyle choice. That's why we say it's not just food, it's just how your thinking changes, how your choices changes. You start connecting with everything that is surrounding you, with the nature, with the animals, with the humans.
Thank you
It's a
so much.
peaceful way of living.
Thank you so much, Rohit. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
And you also on your health side, you lost weight and you're a bicyclist or
So that time I was overweight because of what I was eating, and during that time I was doing a lot of strength training, a lot of cardio. So that improved immediately after I stopped eating animal products. Within
Mhm.
6 months, I lost 24 kgs. So that's averagely 4 kgs per month, you know.
How much is that in pounds?
Uh, Approximately double, about 50.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So 50 pounds in about 6 months.
Nice. And but
And
the go
I
ahead.
became stronger. I became, my cardio improved. And then I took this training into cycling, where I cycle across the country on bike for a year in India. Uh,
It's
just as an
wonderful.
idea that going vegan doesn't make you weak at all. It rather does opposite. You heal better, you recover better.
Yes. And then you have did you feel more aware of everybody else and everything else more after that? Because I know it opened up my world. I was in my own little world of doing my little job and eating my food and getting all these diseases and I just focused on that. I didn't focus on anything else outside of myself. And I'd like to know if you have that
Yeah,
wider
I
purpose,
mean,
wider purpose
it,
now.
of course. I mean, that's what when you decide to make a choice that is uh, that may cause you inconvenience in a short term, but it does much more. It benefits other more than yourself. So I think you are happy to negotiate that your loss brings more happiness to others, and that's what expands you as a person,
Yeah.
connects you with something that doesn't uh, that doesn't come from your selfish motives.
Yes. I think you know, it's easy to be selfish, especially if you have issues in life. You know,
Yes,
you don't feel good, maybe you have cancer like I did, or maybe you had heart disease like I did, or diabetes, or maybe you have family members who are sick. It's hard to concentrate outside of that. But once you do, it opens up a whole new purpose in your life. Even
yes,
you don't have to be an animal rights activist like me and get arrested and everything. No, you just have to be aware, and being aware of what's going on outside of you with the animals, with the earth, and how you can be a part of that just by changing your food. You don't have to do the animal rights. You I have one vegan friend I've known. I coached her into veganism and she's still struggling a little bit with her weight, but she and I a few others like this too, but she said, "Linda, I don't want to know anything about the animals, so don't mention it. I don't care about that." And she's vegan only for her health. And I said, "I don't care. I'm not going to
yeah,
pressure you. You do what you want. You're helping the animals already just by not consuming them." And so that's the way I handle that. But it's really hard for some people to care about the animals at all. And maybe because their own life is still hard. I don't know what the reasoning is for some of these people, or maybe they just don't want to think about it. It's not easy to think about or even know about what's happening to the animals. But if you someday become aware of it, maybe you've seen one video like Cowspiracy or Dominion, those will open your eyes immediately, but you have to want to. And if you don't want to, I don't care. If you just focus on your own health, I don't care. Our community doesn't care. What we care about is being able to talk about it, though, and see where we are with some people. Tell me, what once you became aware of what was going on, was it immediate that you stopped the animal products?
It was very, I mean, always cared about animals suffering, um, whatever is happening to environments as a young person also, yes, as a kid also. Um, so that part was always there, but just never made the connection that the animal is sitting on my plate, and then I don't really, care about that. And the moment I made that connection, it was very clear that it's wrong. And then it's been 10 years. I never look back. I never feel craving. I never said that I never enjoyed the taste of the food. Yes, in a lot of way, uh, it does have its own distinct taste that you can't find in alternate products. But once that connection was made, that the strong, in the sense, the addiction to the taste, it just broke his shackles on me. It was just that simple that there is, because of my choices, there is a lot of suffering causing to animals, to the environment. And then I gradually learn about things. Initial 6 months, when I was losing the weight, uh, I didn't know how to cook, what to do. For 8 months, I went raw. I mean, almost 5 times a week, I
Oh,
would be raw.
uh-huh. Mhm.
So that would be one of the reasons, because earlier diet was a lot of processed food, and now I've
Yeah.
transitioned to raw diet.
Mhm.
So that helped me to shed the extra weight that I was carrying for almost a year and a half.
Well, in my meetup, I have 5,500 people in it, and I'd
Yeah.
say out of that number, I'd say 50-60% are overweight. Why? They eat processed food. And I did that the first few years. I was vegan too. I ate processed food because I didn't eat oil though, because McDougall said if I want to get rid of my heart disease and my cancer and all that, I got to take out the oil. So I never had oil, but I still had processed food. And that's
Hmm.
highly addictive too. It's
Yeah.
hard to give that up.
My whole diet changed for me. It was a complete transition. I think just I became a different person after that, because I never had a craving for meat alternate.
Mm-hmm.
I think for 2.5 years, I had my first substitute after 3 years of being vegan. So I never had the feeling that I want to even eat the
Uh-huh.
meat again.
Hey,
And
Linda.
Yeah.
even now, it's been 10 years. It's very rarely I would go for substitute, because it's it's something, it's highly processed. The substitutes are also very highly processed, and it also doesn't do good. So best thing to do is to go for whole food plant-based.
Yeah. That's wonderful. Does anybody else have
Linda, I have
would
a
like-
point. I have
Oh
a
yeah.
point.
Yes, please. Tell
So,
everybody who you are.
right. So you guys have been talking about overweight Americans, right? We need to accept that our food is very calorie rich. In the past, so whenever I travel, I realize, my family and we start realizing that even though we may be eating the same foods here and in various parts of the world, whether it's Africa, Turkey, India, the calorie contents are certainly much higher in the similar foods over here than over there. Could be salt, but it could be other things also. So, and then I'm talking about the South Indian diet items that we have eaten. We noticed it, right? to give an anecdote, vegetarian guy that came along with me, he gained 45, 50 pounds. He was in Boston. I was in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I gained 45, 50 pounds. So it's not vegetarian versus non-vegetarianism. It is what you eat and the quantity you eat, obviously, as well as giving up a few things. So talking to Linda, I retain my mostly vegetarianism. It's tough for me to give up my salt and oil, but we have certainly walked away from the cheese and reduced the meats and things like that. And conversely, almost most of us that grew up in India and Asia never really had the problem of being seriously obese. So for us, it was minor corrections and just continuing with the correct things in life, rather than drastic giving up of so many things. So that's my approach. That's my take. And I've known Linda for many months and enjoy meeting with her and discussing with her. So good job, Linda. And AJ.
Okay, thank you, Roz.
Yeah, who else is there that we notice over here?
Roz, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to meet you too. Mr. Motorcycle Man. He likes his motorcycles.
Well,
anyway-
that is for the people in India. I've gone back to my Royal Enfield, and it is having been a physics and a computer science PhD, we take life easy and take things. My philosophy, I mean, she made a statement, you should not be selfish. I'm the opposite. Body is my temple. I'm self-centered. I'm going to take very good care of myself by being very selfish.
That's a good thing to be selfish about your body. Yeah, it's an excellent thing. We have to, if we don't take care of our own body, it's hard to take care of anybody else outside of ourselves. It really, we need to think of our own body first in order to get that healthy, and before we can spread out our care and concern for everything, including the environment, because the environment is also affected by our food choices. We use so much of our arable land to grow animals that could be used to grow food for us, or growing the food for the animals. We're cutting down trees in the Amazon, and it's like, it's crazy what we're doing to the wildlife when we do this, because when we eat animal products, it doesn't just affect us, it affects our planet and the animals. So having stopped all that myself, it took me a little while, but I finally did it. I didn't want to die. That's why I did it, and then after not wanting to die, then I found out about the cruelty to animals, and that was it. And then that became even more important to me. And so that's why I get arrested and I go and interrupt meetings downtown in the government and things like that, because I want people to know about it. I want people to be aware of what's going on. But if you're not there yet, this is not a blame game. Nobody's to blame for that. It's not your fault. The reason it's not your fault is because even when you're a baby, like I gave my babies fish and chicken food in a little Gerber's jar, pushed it in. They didn't want to eat it either, but I said, you got to eat it. You need your protein. And then I pushed the dairy on them too, because they needed their calcium. Does anybody want to tell me why calcium, what happens with the so-called myth that you get calcium from eating dairy? Does anybody want to talk about that for me? Raise your hand or something. Let's see, I don't see everybody. Oh, Bev did. Yeah, thank you, Bev. Go ahead. Go ahead. Bev.
It's acidic and it leaches the calcium from your bones.
Thank you. Exactly correct. Opposite from the dairy industry will tell you, the dairy industry tells you so effectively. I mean, they get billions of dollars to advertise and pay the media and pay everybody to talk about it. So what you hear on TV is you get strong bones. And I thought that for my whole life until I was 44. And I pushed it on my kids, and I'm so sorry, but I thought it was for bones. But it's the acid in the dairy that tries to alkalize itself. And doing that, it removes the calcium from our bones. Now, who knew that before that? I mean, the dairy industry is so powerful. Everywhere you go, get strong bones. People ask me all the time, I have osteoporosis and my doctor told me to eat dairy. I have bone loss and I have to eat dairy, my doctor said, because unfortunately our medical community is not trained in nutrition for the most part. We have lots of plant-based doctors now, but there's not enough in all the hospitals. Everybody goes to the doctor. Well, you get to the doctor and the doctor never told me the reason I have that lump in my breast is because I'm eating dairy. They didn't tell me that because they didn't know. And they said my food with lots of ice cream and cheese and yogurt was fine. That eating a little chicken and fish and turkey was fine. Well, thank goodness that breast lump wasn't cancer yet, but they had to take it out. And then right after that, I got thyroid cancer. So, and that was for real. And I was on death's door. But Beth, thank you. That is perfect. Perfect. Thank you. Does anybody want to tell me how you awakened? What happened? Somebody raise your hand. How you awakened to think beyond your own food? Because we all have to eat. We eat every day. Who else here? Because it's not your fault if you don't do it yet. Believe me, it's still not your fault. But who would like to tell me about that? Anybody here this morning? Hello. There must be one person who wants to tell me about how they found out to do this.
Hi,
Anybody? Okay.
I could,
Hi,
okay.
it's Beth again. huh?
I can tell you, I grew up in Vermont and my mother founded the Vermont Vegetarian Society.
Oh,
And yeah, and so that's really cool. And it's still, she's not alive anymore, but it's still going on today. And she wrote newsletters and did potlucks and just was
Oh.
very, very active with it. And
Mhm.
so
Right.
when I was 20, I was reading the books that were in the house. Well, I was off in college too, but because there was no internet. And so because I'm 55 now, but Factory Farms, I think it's Peter Singer. You know, I just saw the pictures, and so for me, it was ethical, 100% at the beginning. It's only the last few years that I've gotten into whole food, plant-based. I mean, I've been vegan since 20, but the whole food, fewer processed foods is more new to me, and I have lost weight since I never was overweight, luckily, because when I was 20, 22, when I first started being on my own after college and cooking, I never really learned how to cook meat. So it was good timing. Although I have to say I've only been vegan the last 5 to 7 years.
Okay.
And what got me was because my husband and I have 2 children, and I did breastfeed them for a couple years
Yeah.
each, and I was very I felt very strongly about that. And anyways, when I saw actually a drawn video of baby cows being taken from their mothers, since I was a mother and had been breastfeeding, like I could truly feel that pain. And
Oh,
I was like,
yeah.
I would want that. So, so yeah, I'm very happy being vegan and attribute it to my mom. And our daughter is vegan. Our son is not, unfortunately, but
We have to work with what you got and help hopefully
yeah,
one day. Yeah, that's a
yeah,
beautiful story. Thank you so much.
yeah,
Yeah, it's interesting that your mother was so active so early because that was rather revolutionary back then for
yeah,
her to
because
be doing
I
that.
think this was in 1990.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was more like 1986, actually, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, 87, 88, right around there. And she said
Wow.
that when she was young and she went to the grocery store, she just thought the meat she just didn't really think about where it came from, you know? She just didn't. She just thought it got there just somehow. And So then when she realized where it came from, she started, reading and learning, because she was very intellectual, and she just read all she could, and, changed and did something about it. So yeah.
That's a good story. Yeah, she was very
Yeah.
ahead of her time and very bright. Yeah, because I
Mhm.
don't know too many people who were doing that back then. Mm-mm.
Right. Yeah. And I got to go to some various like summer fests and things like that in New England.
But we didn't have
And
internet for crying out loud. So how do you tell
Right.
people about it even? So
Yeah, and that's why she was so involved with this newsletter that she would type and mail to people in the regular mail. And she did these potlucks and showed videos that were available at that time at different churches and things. She would find places to meet and things. So
oh, that's
I don't
wonderful.
have all that energy because, well, I have to work full time and she did not, and so it's
Oh yeah.
But I'm so glad she did that.
Oh yeah, that's wonderful. You were very lucky to have a mom like that. And now I'm so glad that you also make the next jump too to help mama cows, and then there's all the chickens and the fish, and a lot of people don't know that fish feel pain. They can
Oh yeah.
recognize you, they can play ball. You can throw the ball out and they'll bring it back. I mean, they don't realize that fish have feelings too and feel pain. So I like to tell that to everybody, because most people, like I thought too, thought they were just little cold things in the water and didn't feel anything. And we're supposed to eat it for your omega-3s. Instead, now we eat our omega-3s directly through the plant. We don't have to go through the fish. And with the fish comes saturated fat and high cholesterol and PCBs and dioxins and all the horrible things. Mercury in tuna is so high. If you fed tuna fish to your babies, they would probably not make it to 18 because they'd have cancer. That's how bad it is. So anyway, thank you so much for your story. I really appreciate you. That really might inspire other people too. Thank you so much. Anybody else like to tell me, or tell us, I should say, all of us, your beginnings and how you got there? I really appreciate if you could share, because this is not just talking about what I know or do. This is talking about all of us. We need to share with each other. We need to support each other. And like I said it before, I don't care if you're vegan or vegetarian or anything else. I just care that you want to talk about it with us. And let us know all together. Who would like to go next? Do you want me to pick on somebody? I might pick on you if you don't come on. Okay. So, oh, there's new messages. Let's see. Okay. So who else would like to share with us?
I guess Linda, you
Priyanka?
can pick up someone such that they
Okay.
maybe they're shy to just come up. So you just take a name, 4-5 names, let them share the story.
Okay. I'm just gonna start picking on you guys. Lori, it's you. I found you, Lori. You have to unmute.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, hi. I happen to
there.
know you're an animal lover, right?
Oh yeah, and we just got back from vacation, and Max a lot of times was the star of the show.
Max is your dog.
Yeah, he's my little Chiweenie.
Oh, how
He was either
cute.
traveling in the hammock or sprawled out across my
Oh,
lap on the way over there.
oh.
And they were saying how
Aren't
well
they
behaved.
don't they just give you such, I don't know, I get so much love from my dogs. I don't care if everybody else in the world hates me that day. My dogs always love me, right? That's what's so nice
Oh,
about having a dog. And I have two, and it's the most, I don't know, I snuggle and kiss with them all during the day. All during the day.
see?
And
Yep.
it just makes me feel good and it makes me happy. You too?
Oh yeah, yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Max even went to 2 weddings, and they were saying how well behaved he was there. My husband put a tie on him.
Funny. So, tell us a little bit about your journey What happened to you? How did you become aware of anything at all?
Well, the reason I stopped eating meat about maybe less than a decade ago is because it just wasn't sitting right. And then when I tasted it again later, it just didn't taste the same. And I thought, well, I really don't need this. It's really not even that appealing. But I did, well, let's face it, I'm either all or nothing. And I have like a horrendous sweet tooth, which is why I try so hard to just avoid it like the plague. Because once I get started, I can't stop.
So how did you become aware though, just the taste bothered you? I mean, was there anything else about the meat you found out?
Well, the taste and kind of how it made me feel. And
What about, did you think about did you know about the cruelty to animals at the time?
no,
Oh,
no, it didn't, but at least not consciously. But I think I mentioned before how I was at the Del Mar Fair and how it showed on the barn the different animal parts. And then I think shortly after, I don't know if it was the same night but it was shortly after that. Then I started having this weird dream that I was eating our dogs. So I figured, well, that had to have been where it came from. So
Yeah.
maybe at a subconscious level, it was there.
So then did you research more into that or did you just go, that's enough?
No, I didn't. I
Okay.
mean, because I know it's common knowledge that's what happens, but no, I never thought to research it.
It's actually not common knowledge. It's not
Oh.
common knowledge at all. I have so many clients who still think they need their protein from the meat and it won't be big and strong without it, especially my men. And it is scary how many people I know who have no connection between the food and the cruelty
Mm.
to animals, none at all. And they don't want to know, and that's fine. When they're ready, maybe they will. Maybe when they get sick, maybe then they'll want to know more about it, and we'll have to just wait for that time. I have a daughter who she's a very smart lawyer. She runs an outfit with thousands of people. She's the chief of it, and she does not want to know one thing about this diet, not one. So I have to be careful because I tend to want to talk about it. But if I do, I'll lose my daughter. That's how bad that is. So I have to be quiet and make every meeting about something else, politics or the weather or something, our family. But do you have anybody else in your family, Lori, who eats like you do?
No, just me.
Oh, okay, just you. And are you eating the processed way or the whole food way? Not that I care, doesn't matter. Wondering.
Probably both, I would think.
Okay. Okay.
But I mean, better. Like, I like my packaged salads.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Raised nuts and dried cranberries
Wrong
or what
with
have
that? Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's what I call whole food. So,
And I love my pizza. That's kind of a struggle.
oh, but no cheese, right? Or yes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. So that's okay with me. I was there too. Man, that I used to make the best cheese salami pizza on earth for everybody until I found out about the cruelty behind the cheese.
Mm.
And that was a game changer. And also I had bad health to help me along with that. But anyway, so thank you, Lori. Appreciate you. And I'm
Thanks.
glad you like your doggies and animals too.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks. Okay, I'm gonna call on somebody else now. Freya, do you have a video, honey? Okay, I can't find Freya.
Hello, I don't have video where I am. I've got
Oh.
you here and I'm working also at the same time.
Okay, so
Can you
what
hear me?
can you, yes, can you tell us a little bit your journey or what's going on with you?
Well, I've been a vegan for 64 years
Nice. Whoa.
And,
I think you're the champion here.
well, I'm president of the American Vegan Society. I
Oh,
became vegan when I was 18, and it's all been good. And we hear from
oh,
lots of people who get good results from being vegan.
oh, wonderful. So did you have health changes too, or did you just become vegan?
I had some health changes
Mhm.
because I used to have asthma, so I got over asthma. I
Uh-huh.
don't think it was just from becoming vegan. I think it was also because I was becoming natural foods and not using
Yeah.
white products and sugar and that sort of thing.
Okay. Well,
But we did it for the animals because we were
okay. So how
upset
did
at
you,
what happened to the calf so we could get milk, and we realized that leather was not a byproduct, it was all part of what made the meat industry viable.
well, how did you know to become vegan so long ago?
I grew up in a vegetarian household,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew about vegans, but I thought they were too extreme and they were risking their health and they were going to run into deficiencies. But then I started writing to this guy in America, Jay Dinser, and he had become vegan in about 1957. And
Oh,
through writing to him and understanding his reasons, and then really, I did it for strongly ethical reasons. It was like a religious thing I had to do, whatever
so
the
did he,
results were going to be. But the
did
results
this,
were good, not bad.
yeah, well, he tell you about the ethical part?
Oh yes, definitely. He had been to
Oh,
visit the slaughterhouse in Philadelphia, and they were killing the cows that weren't giving enough milk, so they went to the slaughterhouse to become hamburgers. So he realized that you couldn't be an ethical vegetarian if you were still using milk and other so-called byproducts from animals. We realized
well,
that the cows did not give us milk. We took their milk and took it away from the cow.
yeah, that's right. And a lot of people don't realize that there's no reason for us to eat dairy, and it's our number one most prominent way to get cancer.
Yeah.
And I'm like you, though I'm an ethical vegan, and it became as important as my health because I have to have both. So you were able to look beyond yourself how old were you at the time?
I was
67.
18. I was 18 when I became vegan.
You were how old when you became vegan?
18 years old, a teenager.
Wow. Look at you. I don't know anybody who became vegan at 18. So that is really wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Oh,
I
you're
really
welcome.
appreciate it. So I think is one thing about once you become vegan and your whole world, a lot of us are plant-based eaters and not vegan. That's okay. Does anybody know what the word vegan means? Can you tell me, please? What does the actual word vegan mean? Please say something. Anybody? Who wants to tell me?
Well, I'll
Anybody?
step in if no one else is speaking up.
It means
Go
do,
ahead.
Is
Oh, there we go. Here's Kim. Go ahead, Kim.
it means do no harm.
To animals, any animal, even an insect, do the best we can. I mean, it's hard not to kill insects when you drive your car, right? But we do the best we can to do no harm. It comes from the word ahimsa in Sanskrit. It means do no harm to anybody. So that's people real. It's not a diet, guys. It's not a diet. It's looking beyond yourself and just what you put in your own body and what you do during the day. It's looking beyond. I think it's nice for all of us to look beyond our own self to see what's happening with our animals and the earth And then you feel really good when you find out, because you find out you're not only helping your own body, but you're helping all those animals. I forgot how many animals we save every day by not eating them. There's a number to that. But, you know, right here in Petaluma, they kill 48,000 chickens every night. And the smell there is terrific. But they hide the slaughterhouses so nobody can find them or see them. And they're horrific places. But when we look beyond ourselves and find out what's going on with those animals, then you become a happier person. Because when you're killing or hurting others outside of you, I mean, if you saw somebody beating a dog in this country, you'd be really angry, right? You'd want to stop it right now. But we don't see what's going on with the animals because they hide it so well. And then they give us false advertising on why it's so good for us. So I understand why people can't get there. And some people never want to know what's happening to the animals. That's fine. You know, we're an inclusive community here. We want you all to feel comfortable sharing your stories. So thank you. That's what it means. Do no harm. It has nothing to do with food. People call it a vegan diet. It's not a vegan diet. It's eat animal-free diet.
Well,
It's
the meaning of veganism has developed over the years. Initially, the people who got together to form the Vegan Society in Britain in 1944 were people who had decided that they could live well without milk. And that was the thing that brought them together. But then the other reasons all came in over the years. And so that's why it has the philosophy of Ahimsa, do no harm.
yes.
But it's a question of what you don't eat, which makes people think it's restricted because we don't eat any food from animal products. But actually, it's a very abundant way of life when you look into all the foods that are available.
Yes, that's right. Donald Watson created the word vegan out of the word vegetarian in 1944, the year I was born. Yay! Anyway,
Yeah.
so the year I was born, he took the first 3 letters of vegetarian and the last 2 and put them together to make the word vegan. And the definition he gave was do no harm to sentient beings, whether it's human animal, or insect, or fly, or whatever. So, thank you for that. Appreciate that. Would anybody like to tell me how they became more aware and opened up their world a little bit? Somebody wants to know. Okay, I'm gonna call on somebody. Okay, Donna. I know you're tired because you worked all night, but are you gonna tell us, honey? Or are you too tired?
Oh, darn. Can you hear me? Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Trying to have my video off, and that's why I'm trying to log in on my computer. What's the question?
The
Sorry.
question was, how did you open up your world and become aware?
Well, I really stopped when I was 14. My mom was a Southern cook, but it had something to do with my mom because she scared me. It's always like, I remember really young asking, Lori was talking about Del Mar Fair, and that's right out of San Diego. And when I was real little, my mom's from Texas, and she's like she passed away, but she's like a real redneck. And, you know, that influenced me because I was always real sensitive. And so she actually was bought, I remember them cleaning a big like steer cow at the Del Mar Fair. And I kept asking, what's this? What's that? And a whole bunch of people were watching the man clean the cow, and he was big. And then it turned out that little did I know they slaughtered it, and my mom had all these frozen, you know, pieces, and I didn't understand what it was until later. And then it just made me sick. And it kind of built up to where one day when I was about 14, I was looking at my mom's chicken or something on the plate. And I said, that's chicken, right? And I said, I'm a vegetarian now. I'm never going to eat meat again. And then they accepted it. They
Oh,
accepted,
good.
and I never did because I'm a strong person of strong conviction. Well, mostly because it's like murder to me. It was only simply not even the health venue, but
Mhm.
the,
So how'd you become vegan though?
that's how I was for the animals. I
I know,
stopped.
but did you see something with dairy or, I mean,
Oh, vegan rather than vegetarian. Yeah, because I ate eggs, meat. I mean, meat, no, I never ate meat again. Cheese. I was heavy on the cheese until about 10. Well, Linda, when I met you and I found out about
oh,
how bad eggs 10 years ago or more now, it's
yeah.
flying by. When I found out about the cruelty, just like I forgot the people's names since I just got home at 4 o'clock in the morning. Sorry, guys, but
Yeah.
I wanted to come, and I'm so glad that I see my friend Lori and other people, but it was you. What can I
Okay, good. I love that. I'm glad I could help you along that, opening up your world about the cruelty. That's nice. Remember, I don't care if you're here and you eat everything. That's not the point here. The point is to talk about it and talk about what we all want. We all want to feel good. We all want to have the best health. We all want a planet here. We want to feel connected to other people. And sometimes we feel disconnected with other people when we eat one way and they eat the other way. It's hard. I know it's hard. I have that kind of difficulty in my own family with my daughter, especially. And it is sad. But, all I do is not talk about it because that would be a killer right there. I'd lose my daughter. But so you just have to do the best you can and make loving relationships as best you can around you, and make sure you have some friends who you can call up. Like I can call Donna in the middle of the night if I want to, right? So you need friends like that in your life. And if you don't even have a spouse or a partner on board, you can still be there and just do the best you can. Keep serving delicious vegan meals when you can. And maybe that helps. I know, Kim, you do that with your family. She serves her grandkids wonderful, tasty food, even though that family's not vegan, right, Kim?
That is true. That
Mhm.
is true.
And so she makes wonderful food for them all the time, and they love it.
Mhm. They do.
So there you go. And they want to take hold of her broccoli sprouts and things like that. They want things from her all the time. And she
Mhm.
So this is what's so helpful is handing out really great food to people who are non-vegan. Now I've made some flop dishes before that didn't work too well, but I'm trying my best not to do that anymore because that's a real killer right there. See, that's why I don't like it, Mom. Oh, okay. So anyway, we've come to the end of our talk this morning. I'm hoping that I get to hear from more of you next time we do this, but I want you to know that I'm a vegan coach. So if you need help transitioning over or getting into the healthy whole food diet, that's me. So please email me at veganmentor.com or go to my website, veganmentor.com. I am a part of the vegan community who is sponsoring this today, and I love them. So you want to join the vegan community. So Priyanka, how do they do that?
Yes, definitely. Like we will connect to them, Linda, having their email IDs. We will share the details, and our operation team will get back in touch, and they can drop their WhatsApp number such that we can also create a group for the like-minded people, and we share all our tips and tricks and all the update, and with their permission for the special newsletters and whatever offers going on, and the links and the different articles which are launched, such that they update it and we help them and support them on this journey. So Rohit, you have any specific to tell how exactly also we can reach out to them in other way? Anything specific?
Yeah, I think
Wonderful.
the simplest thing is the platform that we are building. It is to connect, it is to create communities of like-minded, so everyone at one place. And then events like this, discussions like this, the educational sessions like this will keep happening regularly. So everyone stay informed as well as in group. So the idea behind the vegan community is that we can't work out everything alone. If you keep living in the cycle. So that's why we need the community to bring everyone together, to learn from each other and to support them through their journey. And then we will have uh, people like Linda who can, share their expertise to understand, how to manage all this and still live a better life for yourself. So that is the purpose of the community. So anyone who is interested to stay connected, they can join our community. It's called thevegancommunity.com. And there we can stay connected. We also have a passion pod for Linda, where Linda's community can connect with each other. And if you have any questions or if you want to reach out to Linda directly, you can reach out to the through the vegan community. It's called It's Not Your Fault. Uh, Once you join the community, it's free membership, and once there you can join the passion pod, the groups.
Thank you so much. What a wonderful,
Thank you.
that wonderful to have a vegan community called the Vegan Community. They are launching that right now. And when does the actual launch?
Next week, we will have another discussion where we will have the panels. We will share the details with everyone who is attending, and it's a series of events how to, make your life better, healthier, compassionate, less stress, work on your anxiety. So spiritual, health aspect and your physical well-being is being taken care in the series of events which will happen every week from November onwards. So for that also, you can join the community.
Thank you, guys. I hope to see all of you at the vegan community because they are doing amazing work.
Thank
And
you.
so please join that and come along and listen to get more podcasts, more a newsletter, get all kinds of information from the vegan community to help you along wherever you are on this journey. But anyway, we got to go now. And I will just say, I love you for coming and please join us again. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Thanks everyone for joining. And we are all open to help you in every aspect. Our vegan community, the vegan community, has right from spirituality, health, fitness, environment, every question under one roof for people from different background. It's just like a cinema theater. We have our superstars and we have a super audience together, and we are the platform. We will present you the best, and you can watch all the favorite shows in different. So you're going to enjoy it. So any questions, feel free to mail us and through our website. And definitely we are launching it with effective. So feel free to ask any questions further. And you have an email ID if you want to drop your emails as well. We can do all the things for y'all. And welcome all. And this is a baby step. Congratulations. You guys are superheroes who are going to bring the change. Thank you, one and all. Have a great day. And whichever part of the world, all the best. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Priyanka.
Thank you, Linda, for being this amazing podcast. You were amazing. I love the energy which you kept up all 1 hour.
Thank you so much, honey.
Love. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Linda.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
And let's stay connected.